If your lawn turns brown and crispy every summer, no matter how much you water it, the problem is almost certainly not your soil and not the heat. It is the watering schedule you were taught to use. And here is the part that stings. The most common schedule, a little water every morning, is the single fastest way to build a lawn that cannot survive a dry week. I am going to show you the cheapest method turfgrass scientists have studied for nearly a century to make an ordinary lawn survive drought on almost no water, and most of it costs you nothing but a change in habit. Stay with me, because the first step is the one almost everyone gets backward. Let us start with the mistake, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Most homeowners set the sprinkler to run for 10 or 15 minutes every morning. The grass looks happy, so it feels right. But that shallow daily sip never soaks deep into the soil. The roots have no reason to chase water downward, so they stay parked in the top inch or two of dirt. That top inch is exactly the layer that bakes and dries out first in a heat wave. So you have trained your lawn to depend on you every single day, forever, and to collapse the moment you stop. Researchers at land-grant universities have been documenting this since the 1930s. The University of Massachusetts, the University of Missouri, and Illinois Extension all report the same finding. Deep and infrequent watering produces deeper roots and far better drought survival than frequent light watering. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Instead of watering a little every day, you water deeply and you wait. You soak the soil to a depth of around 4 to 6 inches. Then you do not water again until the grass actually tells you it is thirsty. When you water that deeply, the moisture sinks far below the surface and the roots follow it down. A lawn with roots reaching 6 or 8 inches into the soil can pull moisture from a huge reservoir that shallow-rooted grass never touches. That is the entire secret behind a drought-proof lawn. Deeper roots reach more water. Now you might ask, how do I know when the grass is actually thirsty instead of just guessing? This is the part the watering apps and the irrigation companies never teach you, because a thirsty lawn gives you a clear, visible signal for free. Before I go further, a quick word for anyone who wants the complete system rather than the overview. Everything I cover today is the why and the what. The full step-by-step protocol lives in the companion guide linked in the description, the first link. Inside that guide, there are 3 things I simply cannot fit into a video. The first is a regional watering calendar that tells you exactly how often and how deep to water in your specific climate zone, month by month, because the right schedule in Arizona is nothing like the right schedule in Ohio. The second is the drought-tolerant grass selection table, matching the best low-water species to your region. So you know whether tall fescue, buffalo grass, zoysia, or Bermuda is right for your yard. The third is the soil preparation sequence that lets sandy or compacted soil actually hold the deep watering instead of letting it drain straight through. Those 3 pieces are the difference between knowing the idea and actually executing it on your own lawn. The link is in the description if you want them. Now back to the method, because the free signal I mentioned is the key to the whole thing. Here's the signal. It is called footprinting. Walk across your lawn, then turn around and look at your tracks. On a well-hydrated lawn, the blades spring right back and your footprints vanish. On a thirsty lawn, the blades stay flattened and your footprints stay visible behind you. The grass may also shift from bright green toward a dull blue-gray color, and the blades begin to fold or roll inward. Those are the first signs of mild water stress, and that is your cue. That is the moment to water deeply again, not before. University of Massachusetts research found that watering at this point of mild stress, rather than on a fixed daily timer, produced deeper rooting and higher lawn quality through drought. So your whole watering decision becomes free and visual. You walk the lawn, you read the footprints, you water deeply only when the grass asks. No timer, no app, no guesswork, no money. Now the second free lever, and it is one most people get exactly wrong in summer. Your mower. When a lawn starts to look stressed, the instinct is to cut it short so you can mow less often. That is the worst thing you can do in a drought. Grass height and root depth are linked. The taller you let the grass grow, the deeper the roots go. Missouri Extension and Illinois Extension both recommend raising the mowing height to around 3 to 4 inches during summer heat. Taller grass does 3 things at once. It grows deeper roots that reach more water. It shades the soil surface, so less moisture evaporates, and the ground stays cooler. And it is far less likely to be scalped, which is the stress that thins a lawn and makes it brittle. The rule that goes with it is simple. Never cut more than 1/3 of the blade height in a single mowing. Cutting too much at once shocks the plant and forces it to spend energy on new leaves instead of deep roots. So raise the deck, keep the blade sharp, and mow a little more patiently. It costs nothing and it changes everything. Now the third lever, and this one surprises people. When your lawn looks stressed in summer, do not reach for fertilizer. It feels logical. The grass looks weak, so feed it, right? But nitrogen fertilizer pushes the plant to grow new top leaves, which is exactly the wrong direction. It burns energy the grass needs for roots, and it creates tender new blades that wilt fastest in heat. University of Florida. Turf specialists are clear on this. Reduce or postpone fertilizing during drought stress. Feed the lawn in its real growing season instead, not in the middle of a heat wave. So far, every single thing I've given you is free. Water deep and on the footprint signal. Mow tall, hold the fertilizer. There's one more piece, and it is the only one that may cost a little, but it is still cheap. If your lawn keeps struggling year after year, even when you do everything right, the real answer may be the grass itself. Some species are simply built for drought. Tall fescue, with its deep root system, stays green far longer in dry summers than thirsty species like Kentucky bluegrass. In hot, dry regions, warm season grasses like Bermuda and zoysia and native buffalo grass can survive on a fraction of the water. A network of university turf researchers led by North Carolina State has spent years developing drought-tolerant varieties that stay healthy and attractive on minimal water. You do not need to tear up your whole yard. You can overseed gradually, letting the tougher grass take over season by season. Choosing the right species for your climate is the single biggest long-term water-saving decision you can make, and it is all in the selection table in the guide. Let me also clear up the thing that scares people most. When an unwatered lawn turns brown in deep summer, most people panic and assume it is dead. Usually it is not. Most established lawns are simply dormant, a natural survival mode, and they green back up when cooler, wetter weather returns. If you want to keep a dormant lawn alive without fully greening it, Missouri Extension notes that about 1 1/2 inches of water every 2 weeks is enough to keep the crowns hydrated. That is a tiny fraction of what most people pour onto their lawns all summer. So let me put the whole method together because it is genuinely this simple. Water deeply and only when the footprints tell you to, not on a daily timer. Raise your mowing height to 3 or 4 inches and never cut more than a third at once. Hold off on summer fertilizer and feed in the growing season instead. And over time, shift toward grass species built for your climate. Do those 4 things, and you stop renting a green lawn by the week and start owning one that defends itself. The deeper roots, the shade, the right grass. Those are what survive a drought, not your water bill. If you want the exact regional calendar, the species selection table, and the soil prep sequence so you can run this on your own yard step by step, the companion guide is the first link in the description. And if this changed how you think about your lawn, subscribe to the channel because this kind of straight, science-backed lawn care is what we do here.